You are where you are in life because you have put yourself there. Period. Zero exceptions. Everyone loves to point to all of these random things to say that it is because of my parents or because of society or because of your skin tone or because of your genetics that you are where you are. No, all of that is bullshit at the end of the day. You are the reason that you are where you are. If you are fat, you are fat because you have eaten too much food. If you are poor because you act like poor people. You blame everybody else for your problems. You make excuses. You are lazy. You procrastinate. You do all of the things that poor people do. You are entitled. If you are depressed, you don't have some sort of disorder. There is nothing wrong with your brain chemistry. There is nothing else going on other than the fact that you live a very depressing life. You do depressing things. You don't do any of the things that you know that you should be doing, and or you do things that you know that you should be not doing. Maybe some combination of the two. But regardless, you are depressed due to your actions, just as you are fat due to your actions, just as you are poor due to your actions. People love to point out into the world and blame their problems on all of this other stuff and ask all of these questions like things are super complicated. But at the end of the day, it's not. It all comes down to you. You get exactly what it is that you deserve in this life, which is why when people sit there and ask questions like, how do I make people respect me? You make people respect you by being respectable. How do you make women like you? You make women like you by being someone who is desirable to women. If no women are interested in you, that's not the fault of the women. That is the fault of you. If you were someone whom women were interested in, then women would be interested in you. If you were someone respectable, then people would respect you. If you were the type of person who could be in shape, then you would be in shape. If you were the type of person who could have money, then you could have money. If you were the type of person who would be happy and fulfilled doing something, then you would be happy and fulfilled. You can go and you can point your finger at whatever it is that you like, and you can tell yourself whatever tales you would like that might make you feel better about your situation, about where it is that you are. But at the end of the day, all of that is bullshit. It is all on you. You have put yourself where it is that you are. And the belief that someone is at fault for the life that you are living is going to ensure that you continue the exact same life that you have been living. The belief that someone else has put you where it is that you are is going to keep you exactly where it is that you are, because that is a very disempowering idea, to have been placed somewhere completely beyond your control, to have been just given these genetics that you can't do anything about. And no matter how hard you work out or how well you diet, you are just destined to be fat. The idea that there are chemicals off in your brain and that's fucking with your happiness and your mood is also a very disempowering idea, because what it's telling you is that how you feel is entirely outside of your control. And no matter what it is that you do, you are never going to be able to be happy and fulfilled, at least not without some sort of pharmaceutical intervention. That is the narratives behind all of these things. And when you accept any of these narratives, when you accept that you are poor because of the color of your skin or the way that society is set up or the patriarchy or whatever other nonsense it is that you would like to tell yourself, then you are also taking away your power to change, because you are taking away your motivation to do so and your belief in the idea that you even can change. And without that belief in the idea that you can change, you are not going to be able to commit to what it is that you need to do to better your situation. If you believe that your genetics are the reason that you were fat, then you are not going to commit to going to the gym on a regular basis and pushing yourself hard. You are not going to commit to turning down the foods that you would like to be eating in favor of the foods that you should be eating. You are not going to commit to doing any of the things necessary to get in shape. And then you will not be in shape. And then your circular dumbass logic will go and say that it's because of your genetics. It's not because of your genetics. It's because of your actions. The same thing applies to when you are broke, when you are unsuccessful. When you believe that you are unsuccessful because of the color of your skin, then that is going to prevent you from doing the necessary things to succeed. And then you will go point to the color of your skin to say, this is the reason that I am not successful. No, you're a dumbass and you're not doing any of the things that it takes to succeed. This applies to all areas of life. Whatever it is that you are struggling with is your own fault. You have caused your suffering from doing whatever it is that you do. I know people like all of these fairy tales and all of these other ideas that it's the fault of all these things and all these convoluted systems and white supremacy and just the unfair luck of the draw and the way that society is set up for whatever the case may be, and nebulous disorders and uncontrollable childhood trauma and ADD, whatever it is. All of these things, every single one of these things is completely on you. I guarantee you, if you could take a 24/7 look at the life of any individual in this world, if you could find any single person, at least in the Western world, for the people who want to participate in this random examples of people off in Bangladesh or something. In the Western world, if you took a 24/7 look into the life of any individual, if you saw everything that they did, saw every single person that they associated with, heard everything that they said, were able to listen to their thoughts, then you would be able to see exactly why they are where they are. And I guarantee you, any single person, pick them out and take a look at their life. If they are poor, then after watching their life for a week, a month, a year, whatever the case may be, then you will understand exactly why they are poor. If you could take any person who is fat, claiming nonsense about their genetics and their thyroids, and watch their life 24/7 for a day, for a week, for a month, for a year, then I guarantee you, at the end of it, you will come to the conclusion that says, I understand exactly why it is that you're fat. If anything, it will be baffling that you were not fat. The same works in the opposite direction. When you take any of these people that you swear are cheating on their workouts and they're only in shape because of their steroids or their genetics or whatever the case may be, if you could watch all the same things, every single thing that they do, at the end of it, you would come to the same exact conclusion of, I understand exactly why this person is jacked. I understand exactly why this person is rich. I understand exactly why this person is successful. Because when you take a look at every single person's life, a real true look, not the stories that they tell, not these narratives that they narrate, not the facade that they put out to the rest of the world and the sob stories that they tell, then you will see exactly why they are where they are. The fats are fat because they deserve to be fat. The poors are poor because they deserve to be poor. The depressed are depressed because they deserve to be depressed, because they've done all of the necessary things to get that depression, to get that fatness, to get that brokenness. And you are where it is that you are in life because you deserve to be there, because you took all of the necessary steps along the path that led you to being exactly where it is that you are. What did you expect would happen when you did that? But this is how people go about life. They walk 100 feet west, wind up 100 feet west, and somehow blame everything but themselves in the direction in which they chose to walk. There are grown men nowadays who will jump in an arena or an enclosure at the zoo with the tiger, get bitten by the tiger, and then blame the tiger for what it is that happened to them. It's not the tiger's fault. It's your fault. You jumped in it like an idiot, and you got the consequences that idiots get when you do idiot things. That is exactly the way the universe works. The universe gives you every single thing that you show it that you want. And every single thing that you have shown the universe that you want. Whether that be your broken heart, whether that be whatever sob story it is that you tell the rest of the world to try and make excuses for why you are not where it is that you want to be, whether it be your addiction, the fact that you can't go days without drinking a bottle of alcohol or smoking a half ounce of weed or doing whatever stupid other drugs it is that you do. You have shown the universe that you would like to be addicted to these substances, and now you are addicted to these substances. You have shown the universe that you want a shitty house. You have shown the universe that you want a shitty car, and the universe rewarded you for showing that with your shitty house, with your shitty car, with the girlfriend who doesn't respect you, with the friends who talk about you behind your back, with the job that you can't stand going to because your boss doesn't care about you and makes you work all types of overtime without paying for it or whatever else your stupid complaints are. You showed the universe that you wanted these things, and the universe gave them to you happily. And just as you showed them all of this nonsense, you can show it what it is that you truly claim that you want. Not by talking about it. Everybody talks talks about it. If just talking about your goals led to you accomplishing your goals, then nobody would be broke. Nobody would be out of shape. Nobody would be unhappy. Everybody would have the perfect relationship, or a million different women, a whole entire harem, whatever it is, harem, however it is that you pronounce it. Everybody would have all of these things. Everyone would live in mansions, and everyone lives in a car and would have fancy Phantoms and Bentleys and Lamborghinis and whatever other type of car it is that floats people's boat. If that's how it worked, if all you had to do was talk about these things, everybody would have these things. But nobody has these things, or very few people have these things, because it's not about talking about things, it's about doing things. And nobody does things. People do the exact opposite things over and over and over and over. Or they do the opposite of things, over and over and over again on a continuous basis. They talk about stuff and do the exact opposite. They say they want to get in shape, but they sleep in and skip their workout. They say they want to be lean, but they hit the drive-thru instead of cooking the food. Instead of having the ground beef and the rice and the protein shake, they want to go to McDonald's. They want to go to Taco Bell. They want to go out to eat. They want to order the pizza. They want to DoorDash the Chinese food, because that's what tastes better in the moment. And they can justify that to themselves, and that's perfectly fine. But just know that when you're doing that, you are disqualifying yourself from having those abs that you say that you want. When you take your mental health days, when you sleep in, when you stay up late and go to the club instead of doing all of the extra work that you know that you should be doing, you are disqualifying yourself for making the extra money that you want. When you make excuses, when you blame everyone else for your problems, when you are constantly negative and you complain all of the time and you gossip and you never partake in any sort of positive discussion, and all of your thoughts are down and dreary and just all kinds of other unhappy stuff, you are disqualifying yourself from the happiness and the fulfillment that you want, and earning that depression. You have earned where it is that you are. And going back to what I said a few sentences ago, the way that you earn things is by doing things, not by talking about things. Everybody talks about things, but nobody does things. Well, they do things. They just do things in the wrong direction. They do things to get themselves the things that they don't want, but they won't do the things necessary to get the things that they do want. And then they wonder why they don't have it. And then they blame all of this other stuff. They do all of the things necessary to be fat and then blame it on their genetics, even though they sat there eating 8,000 calories a day for months and weeks and years on end. They never go to the gym and then blame the fact that they don't have any muscle on the fact that they're an endomorph or an ectomorph, or whichever one it is. They can't grow muscles, whatever nonsense that is. They slack off and never do any extra work, or never try and figure out any sort of way to make money, and then blame the fact that they're black or Mexican or non-white for the reason that they're poor. They blame it on society and white supremacy and everything but their own choices and their own actions. You could tell yourself whatever tales it is that you like, but at the end of the day, if you could take an objective look at your life, then you will see you have put yourself where it is that you are. I have put myself in every single situation that I have ever been in, whether I have gotten arrested, whether I was homeless, whether I was broke, whatever the case may be. I can take an objective look back and say every single one of those things was a direct result of actions that I took and choices that I made. I am not special in the regard that only applies to me. It applies to me, it applies to you, it applies to every single other person, again, in the Western world. Every single person. If you could take an objective look back at your life, you will see every situation that you have ever been in, you have placed yourself in. You will see everything that you deal with, you have earned. You will see every single thing in your life that you have, you deserve to have, because you did every single thing necessary to get that thing. And you could do the exact opposite. You can turn your fatness into being in shape if you just stop acting like a fat person and start acting like an in shape person. You could turn your poorness into richness if you stop acting like a poor person and act like a rich person. You could turn your depression into happiness and fulfillment and whatever else it is that you would like to call the opposite of depression if you stop acting like a depressed person and start acting like somebody who is fulfilled and who actually does things worthwhile. You can turn it all around. You could do all of these things if you start doing things in the right direction. And if you do anything in the appropriate direction for long enough, you will get there. If you go east for long enough and you were California, eventually you will get to the East Coast, period. How long will it take you? Who cares? It's not about where you're getting, it's about the journey. But the universe will give it to you if you show it that you want it long enough.